Hello, my name is Komang Damar Jaya, and I'm representing my colleagues Dr. Herman Suheri and Dr. Wayan Wangiyana. We are from Dryland Agriculture Study Program, Postgraduate University of Mataram, and Faculty of Agriculture, University of Mataram. Today, I would like to deliver our research that we give title for this conference: Can organic soil ameliorant and foliar fertilizer improve maize yield and reduce inorganic fertilizer input in a semi-arid? For the introduction, the intensive maize production system in semi-arid dryland can reduce soil organic carbon and hence soil fertility. Land with low organic carbon content have low productivity. That's why to increase maize yield in dryland, high fertilizer input are required. Otherwise, the production is very low. To use high fertilizer input is very expensive and also is not sustainable to soil productivity. That's why organic material amendment coupled with soil microbe activities is reported can improve soil organic carbon. There are also reports that high microbe consortium in the soil can improve maize yield. The microbe consortium in the soil can be improved by applying bioorganic soil ameliorant. And other report says that foliar organic fertilizer can improve maize yield. Therefore, the purpose of the study is to study the effectivity of bioorganic soil ameliorant, we call it OSA, and foliar organic fertilizer, we call it FOF, in reducing inorganic fertilizer used by maize grown in a semi-arid condition. The experimental site, the material and method, the experimental site at a semi-arid dryland in Gumantar, North Lombok. This is the dryland in North Lombok where we conducted our experiment, and the experiment was running from May to August 2020. We used the standard fertilization for maize in that area, which is 500 kilogram per hectare for urea and 300 kilogram per hectare for NPK Ponska, which is 15N, 15P, and 15K. And the maize variety that we used was NK 007 produced by Syngenta. The treatment, we have 7 altogether. For A, there's 100% inorganic fertilizer, we call it IF. And for B, there's the IF plus organic soil ameliorant plus foliar organic fertilizer. And for C, we reduce 30% of the inorganic fertilizer plus organic soil ameliorant and foliar organic fertilizer. For D, there's 100% organic fertilizer plus only soil ameliorant. And E, 70% of inorganic fertilizer plus soil ameliorant. In F, inorganic fertilizer 100% plus foliar fertilizer. And G, 70% of inorganic fertilizer plus foliar fertilizer. The variable measured was soil organic carbon, total nitrogen, available phosphorus, available potassium, nitrogen in leaf tissue, bacteria and fungi colony in the soil. This variable were measured at tasseling. And we also measure plant height and leaf number at tasseling. And then for maize yield and yield component were the measurement conducted after harvest. This the plant look like during the cob filling, and this the years after harvest. The result and discussion. It seemed that the application of soil ameliorants improve organic matter in the soil when we reduce the amount of inorganic fertilizer. Is the highest. Whenever the 100% inorganic fertilizer involved in the treatment, we got lower organic carbon in the soil. But both organic soil ameliorant and foliar organic fertilizer actually didn't really affect the total N in the soil, but the available P in the soil increased significantly because of the organic soil ameliorant treatment. So wherever the treatment contain organic soil ameliorant, the available P are very high, and as well as the available K, the potassium also high with the organic soil ameliorant. The N in leaf tissue is not really affected by soil ameliorant, and even when we reduce the doses for 30% of inorganic fertilizer, the nitrogen in leaf tissue decrease. For the colony of bacteria and density of fungi, the highest we found in the 30% reduction of inorganic fertilizer with soil ameliorant. So the presence of 100% of inorganic fertilizer actually suppress the number of colony of bacteria and the fungi density. So the bacteria and fungi prefer in the place where less inorganic fertilizer applied. In terms of plant height, that the highest still in the fully inorganic fertilizer plus soil ameliorant plus foliar organic fertilizer. And then the effect of reducing the inorganic fertilizer also reduce plant height, leaf number, and biomass at harvest. For the yield, the weight of kernel per plot, this based on the 10.1 square meters. Actually, we got very high yield for the inorganic fertilizer treatment for 11 kg per 10.1, so that's very close to 11 ton per hectare. The addition of or the application of organic soil ameliorant plus foliar organic fertilizer only improved the yield by about 6%. And then if we use the soil organic ameliorant itself plus inorganic fertilizer, the yield only improved to about 3%, the same as the foliar organic fertilizer applied with the fully inorganic fertilizer. Yield improved only 3%. Unfortunately, when we reduce the inorganic fertilizer by 30%, both organic soil ameliorant and foliar organic fertilizer fail to replace the role of inorganic fertilizer. So the yield decrease, and so as the yield component. So based on this result, we can conclude that the application of organic soil ameliorant actually improves soil organic carbon, available P and available K in soil, but not total total N in the soil. Application of foliar organic fertilizer that did not improve nitrogen in leaf tissue. The application of organic soil ameliorant and foliar organic fertilizer on top of 100% inorganic fertilizer improve maize yield by 6%. A 30% improvement, a 3% improvement in maize yield was achieved when organic soil ameliorant or the foliar organic fertilizer applied on top of 100% inorganic fertilizer. This or in here. So when they combine, they improve 6%, but when they work each other plus inorganic fertilizer, they only can improve 3%. Unfortunately, both organic soil ameliorant and foliar organic fertilizer could not replace the 30% reduction of inorganic fertilizer. However, since the microbe population increased, the soil organic carbon increased by the use of soil organic ameliorant, and possibly the foliar organic fertilizer also improve the yield of maize by 3%. In the long term, believe that the application of soil organic ameliorant plus the foliar organic fertilizer can replace or can reduce the use of inorganic fertilizer. That's why the use of both organic soil ameliorant and foliar organic fertilizer need to be continued to improve soil fertility and maize yield in dryland semi-arid region. I would like to thank the Postgraduate University of Mataram for funding this research. Thank you very much.